Hi, I'm Emily Beecham. We're talking about Pursuit of Love, which comes out on July the 30th on Amazon. Let's get buzzed.
Linda believes in love. She's passionately romantic.
Here's Fanny.
Is life only about love?
Yes! Relax, all discipline. I could easily come to nothing.
So you aspire to being wicked and adulterous, do you, Linda?
No. I aspire to true love.
Love is for grown-ups, as you'll discover one day.
Emily, I need to take a breath, cool down, and take a laugh after watching The Pursuit of Love. Talk to me about the moment that you read the script for the first time and the kind of effect that the words on the page had on you.
Well, when I read it for the first time, I was laughing a lot, but I also found it very there was so much in it and about love and friendship but also so many fun topics and also quite sort of relevant topics to today as well. So it didn't really feel so distanced. And also in mind, I always knew that Emily Mortimer had adapted it and she was directing it. So I always had that in my mind, that her take on it, her sort of flavor would be there, and her humor. And I know she's very funny and she's very clever. So yes, it was an exciting project to read. And then, of course, I got to meet her and discuss more about how she felt and how she saw the characters and the layers and all that. And yeah, she just really brings it alive.
I want to hear a little bit more about that process working with Emily. Did she kind of go back into your own kind of sexual awakening history and past and bring that out of you to bring into your character?
She didn't really ask me so many personal questions, although she's very open. So we did have a really naturally open and honest discourse about the feelings of growing up and that kind of mixture of excitement and trepidation also about, gosh, I mean, I'm going to be an adult. And I think when people are children, they enter their teens and then their adulthoods, and what choices do you make in your life and what directions do you go down? And choices. I think Fanny was less focused on the sex. So I think maybe, I don't know what her and Lily talked about, but for Fanny, there was definitely kind of lots of conflicts and also lots of kind of realizations that she was going through. Fanny had a real journey about discovering who she was or who she wanted to be, and how her relationship with her mother abandoning her as a child, how that had affected her and her choices, and kind of what she really wanted to do, and feeling a bit trapped and kind of feeling like as a woman she wasn't allowed to go and do what her husband could do. So there was so many interesting and liberating things to talk about, which I realized I really rarely talked about for a job, mainly because I've only really been directed by, I think Emily's the second female director who I've ever done like a protagonist with, or Jessica Hausner I did another film with, and that was really liberating to sort of talk about things that I really understood.
Yeah, I love that. I love how it's
fun.
so female centered, not only the show, but behind the scenes as well. I mean, looking at both of the characters in your personal life, do you feel like you're more like a Linda or a Fanny?
We get asked this quite a lot. You kind of want to say you're a bit like quite a wild Linda, but I think everybody wants to say they're a Linda. I don't know. I think maybe you probably want to be a balance, perhaps.
Sure. What similarities do you share with both of them?
Different times in your life, maybe different people. I'm not sure. Sorry, what were you saying?
What similarities do you share with both of them? Because you could be a mix.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe I'm more cautious now than I was. I was probably a bit more. I used to follow my heart a lot more, and I definitely probably dated boys who I thought were exciting, and now I value possibly different things. Possibly I value maybe I think all sorts of things, but then I am still on my journey. I mean, I am not a mother yet. I may be, but so I have yet to experience that part of their story. So Yeah.
Was that an interesting storyline to explore since you haven't been a mother yet, but you're one
It
on the
was actually. I had to ask Emily a lot of questions, and she was wonderful. She like Nancy appreciates Nancy Mitford's candid way of just being really honest about it in a way that is just very refreshing. But yes, Emily was really wonderful to talk to about the kind of realities of suddenly this other little human being is relying on you and expecting you to, it's and that whole transition of your life priority shifting, and then so yes, it's much like all the transitions we talk about from when they're teen into adulthood, and then their marriage choices, or their career or not career choices, or so all those kind of when something becomes a reality as opposed to just a dream. So the girls spend a lot of time fantasizing, and then their fantasies become reality, and then all the old multifaceted sides of experiencing that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Why do you think, because I thought the way that the show was done was super cool, especially bringing something from so old to be so relevant in today's society.
Yes.
So why do you think that the early 20th century is such an interesting period for storytelling?
Well, I think it was a real transitioning period because they were in the interwar period. So things were changing and people were talking about new opportunities for women and whether you seize that or you don't. And Fanny, I think, refers to that at some point. She was like, there's so many opportunities for it. Come with me, Linda. But also, yes, and also with the war simmering, this kind of in the peripheral, everybody kind of knows it's sort of there and it's coming. It's sort of this, they are kind of on the cusp of some kind of real change. And I think that's a very relatable thing. I mean, think, of course, because things are always changing. But yeah, it does feel very relevant. And there's so many topics in it. There's Linda's father is a massive xenophobe and hates foreigners. And, Linda breaks free from that and goes off and falls in love with a man in Paris and travels around the world.
And you're right,
yes.
It totally does bring up relevant questions and topics throughout the whole series. One that I kept thinking about that I heard was actually from your character when she asked, is life only about love? So I'm curious what you think the answer to that question is.
I think love is very important and holds us all together and drives our decisions and our choices in life in a healthy way. So love is a healthy emotion and a healthy drive to make choices in your life. And
I love that. Well, Emily, thank you so much for your time today.
An adulterous woman is the single most disgusting thing there is!
You can't say that her life isn't exciting.
I do feel like a terrible old black sheep.